There it is. Hey everyone. Um, this is Blue Inspires, and I'm Blue. The current date is July 31st, and it has been a day. After getting some rest and doing some meditation, you know, encouraging myself, inspiring myself, and just taking care of me, I have decided to do the video I was going to do earlier in the morning after my doctor's appointments. After my appointment this morning, I was in a bad headspace. I was in a bad emotional place. And the most I could do, because I felt like some people may have actually been waiting to hear the update. I've been eating better, I've been drinking better, I've been getting in steps, got up to 9,000 with the goal of 10,000. And I felt like people might want to know what the update was, but I couldn't do a video. If you've watched any of my other content on either of my channels, I have always said I don't want to come here with you all when I'm not good. And I'm ready to talk a little bit about my appointment and the day as a whole. The first thing I thought I was going to have to do is I thought I was going to have to come on today and defend my character and my kindness. I remember as a young person being told to have a go bag, right? Be ready to go if something happens. And so in my mind and in my emotions, I gathered a go bag. But then I started thinking about my actual character. And, if you know someone or if you know me off of this app, meaning you didn't just get to know me in the past year, you know my ups and downs over the past 20, over the past 10, over the past 5, right? And you know Tia now versus Tia 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years ago. You can choose to hold on to that, or you can choose to listen to other people's perspective and other people's opinions and go that route. But at the end of the day, it's ultimately what I do and how I express myself. I have to weigh the cost of that, right? All of us have to count up or weigh the cost of how we choose to deal with something. So for anyone that knows me currently, that has come into real contact with me or real conversation with me, people from YouTube, people from my city, people from my life, and if you've been around, you see the progress of change. And I would hope that you would hold on to that. Take what you know of me over our lunches. Take what you know of me over a Starbucks run. Take what you know of me through our walks in the park. Take what you know of me now versus the person I was when I was 18. Late night phone calls, all night phone calls, whatever you've experienced with me and others haven't, take that. Take solace in that. I'm a person that would spend days, what did I do? Defending stuff I didn't do, trying to prove that's not what it was. This is not how it happened. That's not the full story. Blah, 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 hoopity hoopla. And I just decided today that I'm not going to do that. You have a go bag and you be prepared. I was telling my hubby today, I said, and I make reference to this movie often, 8 Mile. Eminem was in a rap battle and the opponent got up and rapped his whole life or parts of his life. And when Eminem got up, he choked. There was nothing he could say. But the next time that he went to the rap battle, he was first. And he told on himself. He told his own story. And then when the opponent got up, the opponent had nothing to say. Eminem had a go bag. When I weigh the cost, when I measure it out, when I calculate it, I like to keep my go bag in the corner. And that's what I'm choosing to do. Trust your own judgment of me if you've dealt with me off of this app and you see that how I am on the video is how I am for real. You should trust that. I've been talking about I'm ready to get on a life journey of being healthy. And so I've been eating better, I've been drinking better, I've been exercising. My last count was almost 7 miles. And for me to walk 7 miles a day is very significant. For me to even have a mindset to want to exercise is huge. I've shared this story and I have no problem sharing stories. A lot of stuff has already been told and there's more in the future. So I've been putting in all this work to get healthy, to lose weight. I am T2D. And I have been since about 2018, 2019. So I've been on a journey this year of health. And I told myself when I go to the doctor's office today, if the scale doesn't say what I want it to say, I thought I was mentally and emotionally prepared. I lied to myself. I popped up bright and early and I was ready to go. Took a nice drive, 20 minutes to the doctor's office and I was ready to go. And first thing she did when I walked in, she said, get on the scale. And I asked her to take a picture of the scale reading so that I could post it to the community wall. No. That wasn't gonna happen. I came home and I crashed. So I started this whole thing of why? How? What do you mean? At 1 minute it was 2.5 pounds gained, but then it was, that scale was wrong. You're not in the 290s. then it was 5.5 pounds gained. So there was the difference depending on the scale. And, you know, even though in my mind I knew to only think of the scale at the doctor's office, but then in my mind I was like, what if the doctor's office is wrong and this other scale that says I'm in the 290s is right? And that's why the whole time my mindset has been, I got to get out of the 290s, right? My A1C is great. Doc says my A1C is not even considered diabetic anymore. It's a good A1C, right? You want to be under 7. My average glucose is great, but horrible everything else. 2.5 weight gain or 5.5 weight gain. But I've been doing so much work. And then something happened in the middle of the day. I had a flashback. Many years ago, we'll say between 2011 and 2013, I went through a lot of depression. I went through a lot of not liking what I saw in the mirror. I went through a lot of, I'll say it, self-hate. In and out of days, weeks, and months of misery that I brought on myself. Nobody else's fault, just Tia's. And I would cut my hair, razor my hair. I was heavy on drinking wine. Remember, at this time, I didn't know that I was diabetic. Wine and fruit, wine and fruit. Friday to Sunday, wine and fruit. You know, 6.5 gallons of some wine and some fruit from somewhere, and wine and fruit and cheese. Then there was bouts of depression where I ate. Buckets of chicken. There was a KFC and a Long John Silver in the same building. And I would get something from each place. And then I would go to like Rally's, which was down the street, and I would get a big iced tea and those good old seasoned fries and a funnel cake. And I would just eat. Why? Because there was temporary comfort. There was false hope in stuffing my face. I'd get my food, I'd go in a closet or a room, I would close the door, I would sit against the door so nobody could open the door, and I would stuff my face. And I would get to a point where I would just cry. I would get to a point where I just couldn't even move. I would eventually get to a place where I would be sick. And I did all this to myself. And that continued. So if I wasn't shaving off my hair, I was drinking. And if I wasn't drinking, I was eating. And if I wasn't eating, I was shaving off my hair. For that temporary fix. For that temporary comfort, for that temporary peace, for that temporary, I'm loving me in this moment. This food is comforting me. But here we are now in 2024. When depressing days come, they don't last long. They don't last long enough for me to even think about cutting my hair. They don't last long enough for me to even think about going to get a bunch of food. They don't last long enough for me to think about going to get a drink. This is a weird story time, Blue. What's that got to do with your appointment today? I was so busy thinking about I've been doing this and I've been doing that, and why aren't the numbers better? You know, I realized, I found out, I, I had this conversation before my appointment, and then the appointment confirmed that no matter how many steps I do and miles I walk, if I'm not fueling my body with X amount of calories, I'm not going to lose the weight. And the 2.5 or 4.5 pounds that I gained, depending on whose scale I want to believe, could be muscle. And I'm like, I don't want to hear any of that. Anyway, I was saying to myself, I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And what is the point? What is the point in the stuff that I'm doing to be healthy? What is the point? It's not working. But I begin to think about those buckets of chicken that I no longer indulge in. I begin to think about the 2 or 3 or even 4 different places I would go and get food and then go and stuff my face. I begin to think about the 6 half gallons of wine and fruit that I would guzzle. And I begin to think about how I'm not there anymore. I begin to think about how those days are gone, Tia. Those days are gone. You've gotten better. You've made some positive changes, and that took time. Tia, it took time for you to get almost 400 pounds. Tia, it took time for you to lose almost 100. It took time. But you've made progress. It took time, Tia, for your A1C to go from 14.3 or 14.4, which is like a go to the emergency room number. It took time, Tia, for it to get from 14 point something to 5.4, 5.5. It took time. And it wasn't the medication alone, Tia. It was you making a conscious decision to change the way you eat, to change the way you drink, to change the way you look at yourself, to change the way you take care of your body, to change the way that you attack your health. It took you changing your mindset. It took you maturing. It took you becoming knowledgeable. It took you seeing a nutritionist. You did all that, Tia. So if you did all that, why do these numbers upset you so bad? You're not giving yourself, reachable expectation. You're not utilizing the things you learned in school to help other people. You're not utilizing it, Tia. You've been consistent for a month. You've been consistent for a month and a half. You've been consistent for 2 months, but it takes time. Don't you have more to be proud of than you have to be disappointed about? Your A1C is not even diabetic range. Be proud of that, because you were on your way to the emergency room a year or 2 ago. You were losing your sight a year or 2 ago. You were losing feeling in your body. Your glucose was out of control. Your average was 200s, 300s, and higher. So shouldn't your focus be on the good results and not the bad? You're not doing those things anymore that got you to the weight that you were. You're not feeding yourself into fat oblivion. You love you now. You don't look in the mirror and hate what's looking back at you anymore. You're not shaving your hair off. In fact, you're doing just the opposite. You're taking care of it now. You're not drinking anymore. Gallons and gallons and gallons of wine. And buckets and buckets and buckets of fruit. You're not doing that anymore. So shouldn't you pay attention to that? And not the scale? Weren't you just told that the scale has no power over you? Didn't you agree with that? Didn't you use that to encourage other people? And now here you are, slapped in the face with this number that you thought you'd never see again. And you're ready to go backwards? Come on, Tia. Really? But Tia, you've come too far to go back the other way. I'm not taking Wednesday into Thursday. I'm not taking the way my morning started into Thursday morning. I'm not taking my 8 a.m. doctor's appointment and my results into Thursday morning. I'm not taking the knocks on my door into Thursday morning. I'm not taking the Facebook Messenger messages from Wednesday into Thursday morning. I'm not doing it. I'm not taking the idea of you knew what was going on and you didn't call me and tell me about it. I'm not taking, well, you knew what was going on with him and why didn't you da 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 da. I'm not taking that into Thursday. I'm not taking defeat into Thursday. Because what I felt Wednesday morning wasn't really defeat. I was looking at it that way, but that's not really what it was. Say it again. I was looking at it one way, but that wasn't really the way it was. But I've got evidence to show that those numbers today could have had 100 added to it. Those numbers today could have had 120 added to it. See, I had to stop looking at it as defeat. And I had to remember what was and what is no more. If you are going through something, an addiction, a food addiction, you're on a weight loss journey, and you get some news that's not what you wanted, Remember where you came from. Hold on tight to where you came from. Hold on tight to the success. Hold on tight to the good changes, the positive changes that you've made. And stay focused on that. Because 5.4, 5.5 A1C is amazing. And the current weight is amazing. I walked down the aisle at almost 400 pounds. Overeating because of depression, because it was false comfort, temporary love. Not liking myself, covering my mirrors. And that was even more recent. That was 2021. Early 2022. And I look back at that and I'm like, girl, Tia, this little setback compared to the massive change, you got this. And it doesn't matter that other people say it sometimes. If you don't believe it for yourself, sometimes it's a battle with your own emotions and your own thinking. So for Thursday, I'm back to counting my steps. I'm back to reaching that 7 or 8 mile walk a day. I'm back to fueling my body the right way. I'm going to wake up in the morning with a new perspective. And I'm going to remember where I came from and still have in my eyesight where I'm going. And I'm going to get there. I'm going to reset my goal. X amount of pounds every month for the next 3 months. And I'm going to reach my goal. When I go see her before Thanksgiving, I'm going to reach my goal. And if I get close to it and I'm a pound or 2 off, I'm going to celebrate the other pounds. I'm going to give more focus to the good and less focus to the bad, which is what I say all the time, right? But when you're hit with it, it gets you a little off. But you got to have a mindset to get right back on track. And that's what I mean to do. And that's what I'm going to do. Because I've taken this day, Wednesday, I've taken this day to truly focus on me. And I encourage you to do the same. I encourage you to focus on the good and not the bad. I'm doing that with me. I'm doing that with people. I'm doing that with situations. And it's one day at a time. I don't know what Friday is going to look like. And Thursday's not here yet, so I don't know what Thursday is going to look like either. But when Thursday comes a-knocking, and it's going to be coming a-knocking soon, I'm going to be ready. I found out that things You know, when you get labs done, lipids and panels, things could be off because of lack of sleep. So I'm gonna do better with my sleeping. I'm gonna go to bed earlier than 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna start being more consistent. When I can't go outside because of the weather, I'm gonna work out indoors. I'm gonna tap into a support system for anyone dealing with depression and they think that you think that you're helping it by doing certain things that you think will remedy it. There's real help out there. Food is not the remedy. Whatever you're doing and you know deep down inside it's temporary, real long-lasting help is available. Had I sought help then, I would not have gone through those bouts of depression. But I didn't seek help the way I should have. We have this. We got this. We got this. We will reach our goals. We just have to be more specific, right? We have to have reachable, realistic expectations. We have to keep manifesting. And we have to not be hard on ourselves. Because yes, we are human. And yes, we all have flaws. They're different, but we all have flaws. None of us are perfect. And sometimes we kill ourselves trying to be perfect. You slip up. Okay. Acknowledge that you slipped up and get back on track. It hurts. It does. And punches of disappointment come. But that moment of disappointment is not greater than the previous achievements. And I've achieved a lot. I've achieved a lot education-wise. I've achieved a lot work-wise. I've achieved a lot with my health. Most exercise I got was lifting a glass or a fork. So at the end of the day, it's all good. It's all good. I will continue my journey to eating well and being well. And I will continue my journey of weight loss. You know, I'll reach my goal. I'll reach my goal for this year. You know, getting out of the 290s, that was just the goal by today, July 31st. I still can reach my ultimate goal by December 31st. And I'm gonna work on getting a scale for home. And weighing in the same spot at the same time whenever I do it, so that, you know, I can get a better idea of, you know, oh, I gained a pound. Okay, I gotta do a couple extra, you know. And then not to get on it too often, but, you know, definitely more than once every 3 months. I hope that this video update and story time chapter 8 will encourage you. And I hope that you will begin to see the positive over the negative. That you will be able to see the good in you and focus more on that than the bad. That you will see the good in you and focus more on that and less on your flaws. The positive outweigh the negative, and this situation is no different. So I hope that you will start to see the positive in you, the positive around you, and hold on to that and embrace that. Because ultimately, that's what wins. And you will be successful. You'll be successful on your journey, whatever it is. Get healthy journey, weight loss journey, overcoming addiction journey, loving yourself more, finding your peace, meditating, whatever your journey is, you'll get there. You'll get there. I want to thank everyone for supporting Blue Inspires, aka Just Blue 360, aka Blue's Journey. The channel has been several names over the past year, but I thank everyone for the support. I appreciate the views. I appreciate the thumbs. I appreciate the comment. And any comments that you all leave, I will make sure to get back to them. I will be on Blue's plate more than Blue Inspires for a spell. I feel good. I do. I feel good. Because the sun comes up in the morning. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. And that could be anytime, not necessarily just morning. And there is a lot to be done to take care of you. And there's a lot to be done to take care of me. There are several shorts that you may not have seen. Feel free to go check them out. There's singing shorts and motivation shorts and shorts taken from full videos. Feel free to go check those out. And we're going to stay positive, and we're going to stay motivated, and we're going to stay encouraged, and we're going to stay undefeated. We're not going to keep defeating ourselves. We're not going to continue self-sabotaging. Okay? We're going to do better, and we're going to make a conscious decision to do better one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, morning by morning. We're going to do better because we want it. It's our portion, and we're going to continue to manifest it. Continue to send in the emails of things that you want to put on the manifestation board. Just because you may not see me on the channel does not mean that you cannot reach out to me and still put things on the manifestation board. Blue having an off day, Tia having an off day, doesn't mean that Tia can't be a help to others, because I'm going to continue to be a help to others. And I'm going to continue to take care of me. And I'm going to continue to use me taking care of me to inspire you to take care of yourself. As always, love unapologetically yourself and others. Be kind intentionally to yourself and others. And be you authentically. And whoever doesn't believe that you're you, let it go and continue to be who you know you are and who you've proven to yourself to be. And look in the mirror and compliment yourself. Give yourself a hug. Adorn yourself. Love yourself. Appreciate who you are. And don't let minor setbacks set you all the way back. Remember the success that you've made in the areas that you're working on, and keep going. Don't give in and don't give up. And I will see you all around the way. Be well. Happy journey.